Good evening and welcome to another episode of Young Climber, returning to the beautiful month of November, beginning it on a high note because today we have public relations practitioner, Mr. Phiwayinkhosi joining us today to talk about his journey, in the corporate world and how now he has transitioned into a freelancer, what he offers and what he is about. Phiwayinkhosi is right here with me. Welcome to Young Climber.
Siyabonga Nkosi, sithatha leli thuba sivusele kubabukeli emakhaya, sibonge nekuthuba lekubitwa uthi ukukhuluma nesive.
Thank you so much. You're one of the inspiring characters that we've come across here in the Kingdom of Eswatini because of what you do and the things that you have been through in life when it comes to your profession. But your family, your background, your family values. Maybe someone is going to the same school as you.
Kusho ukuthi Phiwayinkhosi wakamabili sibongo ligama lesemkhathini Elvis ukhuleleke esigodini sakaManzini engzaweni yaseNgcolweni na uthenza inyakatho uthenza sigodzi sangakithi na ufuna nje ukuthola Phiwayinkhosi mabili shothi ukhule angumntwana wemango akhule emndenini lo kholwako loya eSonveni siya wesele ekhaya so ngikhule ngilomuntu lo kuleyo circle ye guidance ye mango ye guidance ye mtali munye unfortunately lengikhuliswe ngumakela. Yes.
And then kufunza kwakho your primary, your high school, your tertiary, where did you go to?
Kufunza kwami ngiqale kufunza primary St. Philomena Primary School eNgcolweni and then I moved to high school which was Ponjwane High School, sorry.
Oh, yes.
And then from there I then had to top up to Bonga High School before I proceeded to tertiary university. Yeah.
Okay, all right. I like that you speak about top up. Someone might not understand what you mean by that, but I've had stories where people said Form 5 but when I got my results it wasn't looking too good, and then I decided, conscious decision to just go back and top up. Can you talk about that time in your life where top up
ngicabanga ukuthi bekusikhathile esihle to actually reconnect with the world because mawusuka esikolweni baye bavame bathi welcome to the University of Life, of which was warmly welcomed and had to make the right decisions to say you know what Mabila, you know where you're going and the right journey to or the right path to proceed is this. It was just a few subjects kuze ukuthi ngikhone ukuthi ngiqhubekele embili netifundo tami ngikhona ukuthi ngigete ama point lapha nalapha stokhona ukuthi yes.
But then you are, one of the few people in Eswatini, I could say that were admitted to tertiary because tertiary. You went to Limpopo University here in Babane. Can you talk about your interest in PR? Now, for Limpopo, what in gusto when the PR no magnete ma prospectors what hey yin logo PR how did you channel yourself before kungena into Limpopo?
Kusho ukuthi sitori sami siyincwadi of which I continue to write each and every day. I always knew where I'm going and I always knew that this is what I wanted to do. Speaking of PR, from the earliest age I always saw myself in positions like this, in a suit, addressing people, which was part of my interest in PR. Most important is not just to see the prospectors would say, okay, this is PR first priority. It was the first and only priority to do PR.
And what are some of the valuable skills that you picked up during your time at Limpopo, doing this course? Things that you just can't forget.
People management, and that speaks to the whole backbone of public relations to say usebenza nebantu every day. So kufanele ukuthi understand noma uconze kahle ukuthi na usebenza nemuntu lokaso address so.
Yeah.
How do you get your message across the spectrum of audiences that you have? Another skill that I picked up was to communicate my messages in graphic design, create my messages that are interesting to the people. Most importantly, skill lesinye lengasingeta kakhulu ku communicate. Basically to communicate in a larger audience and even in a smaller audience to detail your message across all these audiences that I've just mentioned. Yes.
And then when your professional work started, I would say, when you really entered the corporate space, you were still at Limkokweng. In 2022, you joined Healthy Minds Network. Can you talk about your role there, which lasted 3 months?
Yeah.
What you were doing basically at Healthy Minds?
Healthy Minds Network it's a network as it addresses itself. It was a network aimed to address the current or trending issue of mental health, which we picked up, me and my colleagues, while we were still at university. There is this problem. People are talking about depression this, depression that, but they don't have the knock to go door to say, when I have this problem, so we were the bridge to say, don't go under the bridge, we can help you get there, to accumulate 18 number of mental health specialists and referring them to those mental health specialists and working with the organization Lenkulu as big as IMES, based in Gamanzini.
And then after that 3 months, you know, of all of that beautiful work, you had a career break, I would say. Or I don't know if kupumula or it was just you trying to realign yourself. How was that time and what were you going through during that time?
We share and show the career break yami was to mainly focus again on sikolwa kakhulu because you cannot go ahead of the curriculum. The curriculum it's usafunza and you have to allow that. It was just to realign myself. I'm here now, I'm doing what I've always wanted to do and the right way, and here's 2 paths. This is the right one and have to align it and allow the process And
then, you know, after all of that, you did go back to Healthy Minds, I do believe. But then you proceeded, you know, into Fresh Ink Investment Produce as a marketing and communication lead. Can you talk about your role during that time, Yini, and defining marketing and communication lead? Guti, what was your role and what purpose were you serving in this institution?
Maybe just to start with the marketing lead. It calls to be ube all-rounder. Usually sivamisebenzisa i-part let's we. So ngathi bringing everything. It was part of entrepreneurship. It was a business lesayicala work way back after high school, but then kubuka lo mnotho losokhona edolobheni. Why not do this again? Besi tsengisa ema vegetables to my students, looking at the space less corner would say, hey, kudulile la edolobheni. Asasithengisa something. We went as far as Gakobonga, Makolokolo, Bayasati. It's not something as big as you describe it. Ngifuna we share ibe incane to the smallest detail ukuthi sasiban phabe scholar, that's number 1. Sifuna ku earn a living in that. Sikhona ke ukuthi sithengisele bona labantu abesikole, sithengisele nabo thishela ne community lekhona embabane connect pillar nathi connect pillars asesedolobheni singalinzi ukuthi utawushaya icingo sekushoda in but to connect pillars akhona lapho. Yes.
And there's a very interesting role that you took on, which is being the brand ambassador for Limkokweng University. It's never snacking ukuthi ema university ayaba nabo brand ambassador, but logo wago endaweni. And you know, can you tell us about your time during being a brand
Being a
ambassador,
brand ambassador.
For Lim Kok Kuen University, and of course just the cross-organizational culture, because we know that Lim Kok Kuen is an Asian institution. Yes.
Maybe to start off with, what a privilege to serve as a brand ambassador for such a big institution, not only in Swaziland but internationally. Ubuka ukuthi bakhona Malaysia, ubuka ukuthi bonke labafundi labala, you have to be well informed. It's such a big role to take on as a student, serving bafundi, the needs of bafundi, serving as aligning too with my career path, public relations, just to be the informative part of the university. In every area, you speak of enrollment, you speak of marketing, you speak of representation in special events, you speak of almost everything a brand ambassador could do. That was such a beautiful journey to embark on with Lim Kok Kuen University. And speaking of the nationality of the university, it gave me that headlight to work with different people, different students from different universities or from different backgrounds. Yes, thank you. And to actually look into the different stakeholders from across social media, across on the ground. Just to cut it short, it was a very beautiful experience for me. I still hold that badge of being a Lim Kok Kuen brand ambassador until this date.
And that speaks so much to your public relations self. But with so much experience, you were still interning. In 2023, you joined Hangout with Fans app. As an intern there. How did the experience prior to that help you when you were taking into this position?
My internship, that was beautiful. My story is very beautiful. Joining Hangout with Fans app, which is a technology company, it was the very first job experience where I had to work in a paperless society, paperless environment. It was beautiful. I got to learn the operations around tech and linking with my field of study, public relations, to say, what do you look into the content, what do you look into the messaging, what do you look into the policies that need to be user friendly in terms of pushing that whole project, that whole digital project, and to instill digital instincts into my expertise. It was such a lovely experience, I can say.
The revolution of technologies is definitely affecting us in different ways, but when we come back, we will be speaking about your continued journey in other corporate spaces and now who you are now as a freelancer, but that is only when we return. On today's episode of Young Climber, we are hosted by 2328 Lounge, which is in Checkers in Babane. If you want to enjoy yourself some good drinks, and of course they do offer food, come on out here. If you want to watch your football or just spend time chilling on the weekend or even during the week, this is the perfect spot. But we are still continuing our conversation with Phiwayinkhosi Mabila, who is a public relations practitioner, but mostly has been serving as a marketing officer and communications here and there. I'm yet to see the public relations side of your corporate journey. But moving on, in 2024, 2023 to 2024, now in September, you assumed a management position for Swiss Projects. Can you talk about your key deliverables? What were you doing during your time there, and what have you taken away from there? It's fairly fresh. Your exit is fresh. How was your time there?
I'd like to say Swiss Projects was an extension of Hangout with Fans, which was a digital project. Now to look into the company to the major side of business was actually a pleasure, a huge pleasure for me, which served as a promotion from my internship, which was quite good. During my time as public relations and marketing, of which mostly I've been inspired, my experience was inspired by my background in the tech, which to speak of digital marketing and otherwise, which you reference of late as marketing. It was generally to oversee and do the all-rounder of public relations, of what you can imagine of from a public relations employee and a marketing specialist in that field, to look into the social media of the company, to look into the external relationships with other stakeholders, to look into the media, the relationship with the media, and generally to look into the assistance of management positions in those areas of key notice. Maybe to add on that, and also to go beyond and serve as senior assistant to the managers, because when you speak of public relations, you speak of a cross career which serves as which serves as a advisor to top management and senior management. That was basically my role and short of it, although ngena deep into due to MR policies and other stuff, and the fact that we are no longer in status of employment right now.
Yeah, but you know, sometimes we'd like to know the inner details of the jobs that you do, what they entail really. But again, moving on, now from the time of September till today, you know, you're serving as a freelancer, or one would say a consultant. Why did you then decide to shift from being employed to being... You guys worry me so much because all of you just leave your jobs and decide, no, I'm going to be a standalone business. What influenced your shift?
To be honest, the beauty of it is with the money. we all want money. When you start off a freelance journey, you look into the entrepreneurial part of it, whereby vele ufuna kwakha imali at your own pace. I'd like to reference the status of employment. Could say you wake up ungenanga 8 upumanga 5, whereas this side I can work even at 12. I can work even at 3 a.m., go back to sleep, lelo hour, uphenza ubuyela emsebenzini. Kuthiwa-ke lokhu umcoka kunako konke i-growth empilweni. Kuthi nawe sowufuna ukukhula, nawe sowufuna ukuthi izinto letinye utibone ngalenye indlela, ukhona ukusita abantu, and it comes from the demand from the people to say, when you're still working, you're stuck. Not necessarily ukuthi you're stuck, but you cannot do some things that you want to do just to follow your passion. Just to answer your question about leaving the corporate office routine to the side, it was to manage the purpose and look into the future ahead. I like that so much. You guys are prioritizing yourselves, you know, and working on your passion so much. But your second source of income is being a property agent, which works well, you know, if you're a public relations officer. We are you know, and convince them, most importantly. What made you join this competitive industry? You're right. It's such a very competitive industry. However, you mentioned PR and sales, which speaks to the convincing, the attachment of value to property. So you make it look so simple that I'm convinced this is the right decision to make at this right moment, and this is the very rightful person to go to. I think to catch up with the experience that I have, it is very easy to step into real estate, to speak of the clientele that you look into, the niche that you want to translate to sales and to translate into your journey as a real estate agent.
And looking at the, you know, spectrum or landscape of real estate in the Kingdom of Eswatini, how can you say It is, you know, and for people who are looking to be interested in this industry, maybe join a real estate as a like career.
Yeah.
Is it looking good?
It's looking very bright. It's looking very bright.
Yeah.
However, I'd like to pinpoint a few things to note. First being the niche of how are you planning to do it?
Yeah.
How are you planning to execute your chosen path, and how are you going to utilize the resources that you have, because one of the things that plays a huge role is the resources that you have. It's looking good, looking at the fact that private investors are coming in. You look at Hulmende Welive is looking into the development of infrastructure, and you look at the status of the year that we are in, looking at how we surpassed Vision 2022, and now we're actually in action on that plan. And you look at the action ya Hulmende, Malang. So you have to align yourself with such beautiful momentum of progress in regards to real estate.
I love that so much, because you know we are definitely a developing country or kingdom, and it's very good because development but then apart from that, being a real estate agent and a PR consultant, are there any other things that you're looking to tap into? Are there any other sources of income? Because jack of all trades.
There's quite a lot. We look into the development of Fresh Ink Group, which comes from the fresh produce from tertiary. And you look at the birth of the recent Classified Africa, which is also part of my entrepreneurial journey. And you look at my interest in digital marketing and the digital dynamic of things. I'm looking into delving deep in drop shipping. Yes, that's it, drop shipping. You look into the space that we live in.
You can please, if you can, just define drop shipping, because labanye bangevalile but about drop shipping.
Drop shipping is closely associated with product sourcing. Anywhere in the world. So you work with you call them wholesalers, you call them suppliers. You can basically work from home
and sell something to someone.
And it clearly defines the characteristic of being an entrepreneur, that you don't have to necessarily be there for your business to operate. So I can source a product from Germany and deliver it in Brazil from Swaziland without actually getting in touch. That's it. So that's the look of things from the entrepreneurial view of things. But see, this is where we are now, and this is where we are going, and look at the current technologies. So we have to align ourselves with that.
And looking at current technologies, how have the emerging technologies helped you in your business? So align about drop shipping, but there's so many other things that you do, and how have they helped you align with your business, be it for social media and many other technologies?
The evolution of new technologies has been quite helpful, and it has been the most vital tool of our operations. And you look at the physicality of having an office. There's actually an office online, so you can work and position yourself as an established business on social media. You can do actually anything online. To enhance that, the evolution of new media has gave us the resources to say, here's what you need to solve as a young person or as an entrepreneur. Here's the tools to do it. For example, you cannot be struggling to create a media post. You cannot afford to lose 8 hours trying to come out with. You can just search online. The easiest you can do. Just generate it, and then it comes out, and boom, you have something for that day. AI. So it becomes a surprise to some of us young people. You request for something, and they take 3 hours to return it. Why? Because it's all in your phone. Yeah, you have to realign yourself with that. However, there's some pros and cons that we need to look into that development. Yeah.
And as Phiwayinkhosi Mavila, the public relations practitioner, the entrepreneur, the real estate agent, the drop shipper, where do you see yourself in the next 5 years?
The future is rich, let me say, and put it out there clear. I see myself as a diplomat, if I can say it. I'm interested in political governance of things, so I see myself in policy making, decision making, and as well as governing and administration of governance in that regard. So we look into shaping public opinion and actually mastering the art of not controlling, but having an impact towards a community development and society upliftment of our people.
I like that. You know, your journey going forward has nothing to do with you now. But we hope that, you know, it works out in the near future. We hope to see you as a diplomat. We hope to see you serving, you know, in big spaces in our country. And we definitely need youthful leaders like you to lead us forward, because, you know, the future is rich, like you said.
The future is rich,
Just in conclusion, what advice would you give to the young Eswatini who are watching Young Climber right now and maybe are willing to embark on the same journey that you've been on? Public relations, maybe it can be of benefit to them to channel themselves into different spaces, because you went from public relations into marketing, communications, you know, it can go into so many streams. What advice would you have for those people?
It's nothing more or less of mastering your story and knowing where you're going, regardless of whatever situation that you are faced with. Make use of any resource that you get, and to shape your destiny, it needs you to master your craft. It needs you to master your story, know your story. There's this famous saying that says, there's no better author for your life than yourself.
Definitely. I cannot add any more words onto that. Thank you so much, Phiwayinkhosi, for joining us here on Young Climber and sharing your spectacular story and journey. We do hope to see you, you know, as I have already said, on the top channels of the kingdom and even outside of the kingdom. But thank you once again for joining us.
Thank you so much, guys, and thank you so much to the viewers at home.
Thank you so much to our youthful and bright viewers. We hope that you have learned and engaged with so much content on today's episode. We will be back next week, Tuesday, 6:30, you know, same time, same place. But for today, thank you so much to 2328 Lounge for hosting us. If you do want to enjoy and get good chill while you are in Bobane, this is definitely the spot to check out. But for today, it is good night and God bless.